fair price. So if I go here at 3 hours, you guys will see that we are in the thickest part of the actual volume profile since, you know, the market's been ranging here, right? For all the new people, right? Market entered this range here, and then it never really looked back, and it's held the bottom, held the top twice, even though we're obviously waiting for a clear breakout. It's not happening, right? They're bringing it back to the mean. We are below the mean, and you guys know what that means. It's a fairly bearish sentiment when you're below the mean like you are now. They're kind of peaking here right below. If we're able to break 41.23, which is also the value area low, I believe, of Friday, if I remember correctly, 41.20 was the level. Let's see. Yep, 41.23 was the level. So if they're able to break this, guys, it really has an opportunity to accelerate, hit the 4100 and so on, the targets below. There is a shelf here, 4087, which I think they'll use as a spring. Trap the shorts here and bounce off of this if this happens tomorrow. And tomorrow is a gamble. I don't suggest many of you take trades. Market will humble you. Market will teach you, right? As many opportunities as it gives, it also has the same many opportunities to take away from you. So don't feel overconfident. If you made money today, believe it or not, it feels good to actually skip a day and not trade, right? So tomorrow, I mean, it's about the big levels, because tomorrow I think we get the volatility, right? So if you guys look here, we had an irregular P shape, right? You had almost a double distribution here. When they popped higher here, remember when we were shorting, I got caught twice, no, 3 times or 4 times here shorting, and then I flipped to the long side. But here, I mean, obviously they're in a perfect distribution. And what does this tell you? So they're accepting this value right here. For new people that, you know, might not understand this yet, this was the upfront, meaning we did not spend a lot of time here, right? And then they accelerated from this POC, but they did not accept the prices at the higher end. Then the key is these lines that I just drew here, which is purple here, this purple. This is the value of this run up. We are not finding many buyers, I would say, above this level value area high, which is very closely to the CPOC. Does anyone know what the 4155 also is? Why is this level important?
So 0.5 fib from high to low or something.
October low. That's correct. So it's a very important level to know. And for people that are not following along, let me make sure you guys do. So if you grab the highs and you grab the lows, let's see where the 50 is. And 50% is right there. Okay. So now when you look at what they have been doing here, right? So you had a regular shape, right? Where we ran it up to with the regular POC right in the middle, and then they continued. To me, this was a trap almost for the shorts here. Hey, we're going lower, and then they defended it, right? So now, if we are able to, you see how well they played this POC today, 41.33. They really did not spend too much time under this one at all. They did bounce off a key level. Does anyone remember what this level here is?
Wasn't that February's POC?
That is February POC, right? So it is your February POC, and you have to be aware, where is February value area low? Who knows?
40.6350.
Say it again.
40.6350.
That's correct. So yeah. So now you're lined up right here below the sigma. If they're gonna go, they're gonna test that level, guys. Once we lose that 31, let's say, especially we lose this 23 here, it's gonna accelerate towards the bottom. And I would think that we're gonna be going. I still call this a VPOC here because this was extended hours. There's a high chance you're gonna be hitting this zone here if they decide to do that tomorrow, right? If they, you know, depend on how they structure it and what's, you know, CPI comes out. And I don't think the move will be tomorrow. I think the move will be Thursday.
Shorty, I had a question.
Mhm.
Today was a B day, right? A lowercase b?
That's correct. This is a trap alongside.
So yeah, I was going to say, so doesn't the high volume node, which looks like it's around 150, 4150 for today's high volume node would be, I guess, 4150-ish? You see what I'm talking about?
Trying to figure out, are you talking about this one here?
That
Yeah.
tiny little, yeah, I don't know if that's enough of a thing.
No,
So
it is.
wouldn't a run up and rejection off of that
If they give it
Be a
to you, yeah,
possibility?
tomorrow. That would be an excellent play because you have a prior day of POC here. That was, I guess, Mondays. You have the CPOC, and then you have this literally zone here. That's gonna be deadly. Like this is gonna be brutal for them to get over. Right here. This is gonna be very hard, right? And if they break the 4163, I would say that's when you gain my confidence for a move up, right? Because you have this tiny shelf here that they, really didn't care for too much. So if they're able to break that, I think you can catch another 30, 40 points to the upside, and that would be pretty good to catch this. I'm not looking to trade the news, right? I mean, I think it's 8:30, right?
Yeah.
8:30. Who's speaking? Somebody has to speak. Nobody.
I'm muted.
No, I'm talking about like from speakers tomorrow, like Fed speakers.
Waller at 10.
Oh, my bad.
I don't see the Waller here.
Oh, my bad. That's on Thursday. Sorry.
That's why I think it's gonna be actually Friday will be the
We got,
move. Say it again.
Biden speaks at 12:30
Tomorrow?
Central. Yeah, on U.S. default. So
God. Okay.
Nice.
Is he
That's
gonna
all I
come with an
see.
extreme code?
I don't see any Fed speakers.
Yeah. I think the big move happens on Friday, and I'll tell you guys why. I think they're gonna have those crazy candles that we see all the time where it's gonna go here, here, and then they're gonna do nothing. That's what I expect. Thursday is PPI, and then Friday there's something big happening. If you guys pay attention to Apple,
Dividends or what?
dividends paid out. So all these boys that, let's say they accumulated the shares here, right? If they're really buying the shares, typically, if you're gonna have a rundown, I don't think Warren Buffett would sell before he collects $250 million on dividends. Right. So I'm pretty sure that this panic here, because Warren Buffett already gave warnings about the economy and him selling banks and such, right? And I mean, I don't know if you guys saw his treasury balance. Did you guys see that?
No.
$103 billion in treasuries.
That's the money left for them to operate, right?
Say it again.
That's the money they have left to operate, right?
That's how much he has in short-term treasuries. How much he has invested.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he has a lot in short-term treasuries. So that, I mean, just the interest alone is probably more than some of the companies make in a year, right? So I'm thinking it's going to be Friday, but I would let this Sigma, if they close above Sigma tomorrow after the CPI, I would take a little bit of bullish, and let's see, if they break 41.23, sentiment's already bearish for me. I mean, considering that we had, a regular D shape followed by a compressed B shape where they trapped the longs here. And now, where do we close? Right below it. And for people that are new, when you close below the POC, there's a sentiment, right? Especially when it's a deep, like a B shape like we have right here. You're looking for the 50% to see, did we close below the 50% and are we below the POC? We are below the 50% of the range and we are below the POC here. So there's a high chance that we're going to do what tomorrow?
Dump.
There's a high
Okay.
chance we're going to dump tomorrow. So I'm not going to trade the morning. I'm going to see what they do and kind of give us a level, right? Just like they gave us the other day, the 41.36, if you guys recall, right? Like right here, I think it was the bounce. That was an obvious one. We got to wait for something, right? And even here, you had the after hours. If you guys look here, I don't care too much for after hours, but if I have to use it, I will. Here's accumulation, right? That you could also target, if you're using, you have 41.50 here. This is what Bean was talking about. This is a shelf there. You have the CPOC. I mean, is it the worst risk if you take a short trade here? Let's say after the dust settles tomorrow and they're not able to break this level and they come for a retest and do something like this. I think this is a pretty good trade right here. I would take this after they play out their shenanigans and up and down and kill all the puts and calls. Okay.
That's that 41.50 you said?
Yeah, this is the range. The red zone here I would watch with all I got.
Oh,
And
okay,
then-
yeah, because right above that is the CPOC.
Yep. And then, I mean, you see here, I was trying to find like, hey, let me find the range that we're in. And even if you grab this now, you see this POC like below this line here, the first sigma, I'm just grabbing this POC to see where it's at. And it's almost like it's getting a little heavy here, considering the, you know, the POCs at the top. We're barely above it here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 day, you know, profile. We're barely above it. You know, we tested the bottom, we defended it. So if we're able to go below it, I would say, you know, break 4130, that's Feb POC. Then we target Feb value area low, which is somewhere around here, right? Somebody said for, I think it's 63. But in terms of bigger structures, right? If you guys just look at your PVPs, so for new people, if you can go on PVP, if you don't know how to get there, you will go to technicals, you click on profiles, and there's something called periodic volume profile. I have them saved here. So you can look at the monthly. If you want to look at 1 month, you just put monthly 1, and you'll be able to see this. And what it does, it basically tells us, you know, where are we in comparison to the previous month. This is our previous month, this is our current month, and we are in balance, right? So the balance is lost literally right here from the previous month, which is 41.21. But as of right now, the monthly is in balance. And if you guys check the weekly is also in balance. I'll just go 65.
Yeah, weekly had a big wide range.
Well, yeah, this one is deadly, right? So, but you see where the first sig is, right? It's the value area high of the previous week. And the bottom here, 482, matches that shelf that I have as well. So it's very close. We're still in balance. And you see that the current week, we're still in balance. And look at it, for instance, just measure the difference so you know there's a giant move coming. Last week range was 80 points on the weekly. This week's is a cool 15 points, 16 points. I'll give you 25. Right, and you guys see here, just it doesn't take a genius to figure it out, right? Here's this one, 67. This one's 27. So here's this one. So you can actually expect this move tomorrow to be probably more than 80 points. Remember, the tighter we are, the bigger the explosion is going to be. Right? They're not going to be happy about some level here. We just got to figure out tomorrow. As of right now, we're leaning bearish on the 5-day balance. We are, you guys see where the weekly profile is, POC. We are slightly above it, unfortunately, right? And that's where we had that balance the other day. Was it Monday? So I'm leaning a little bit bearish, but you know, of course, it's a gamble, right? I'm not gonna dwell, you know, or cry if it goes the other way or not. I don't really care which way it goes. So that's our weekly, and then I don't think you guys need to check more than that unless you guys care to check the 6 week. So here's your 6 week, which is basically what we were doing here. If you guys look, right, that's what we were grabbing pretty much here. We're just moving it up here. So maybe 5 weeks. Here's your first sig here. This is a value area high. Value area low matches the first sig. So this level is going to be fairly important at 4,100, right? Just because retail loves that number, and also because it's going to be a value add. Other time frame buyers will show up there, right? I do expect them, and you know, triggered by retail. And the best trap they could do, if you guys just look at this for a moment. If they lose 4,100, what do you see here?
That's a huge gap.
Wow.
So, damn it, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to show you guys a trick they will most likely play on retail within a few weeks.
They did that with 4066.
This is where the retail loses their money, right? So they're gonna come here, they're gonna dump it. And what is retail gonna do here? Yeah, they're gonna buy everything they got. They're gonna buy a bunch of fucking puts below for 40, 50. And they might come here. I'm expecting somewhere around here, and then it could really reverse to the mean, right? Because it could do something like this, and retail adds more short here, and they basically do this.
Wow.
Because this is a perfect setup for a short. like you short right below, and then you're, you're caught holding, right? You don't want to be the one holding the candle for them.
Where are you expecting the bounce down there, Shorty?
But this shelf right here that I'm highlighting.
Gotcha.
I
That's
mean,
around what? That's around what? 4,100.
it's 4087 is the shelf that shows up right here.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so you guys will be looking here, and this would be a really good zone for a trap, and I think they'll execute it. If I was them, I would
Yeah, I
say it,
see
but I would screw people that way too.
There's like tomorrow, where we get like those crazy candles. Would you say, like you would prefer a larger time frame? Because it kind of gives a
I wouldn't really care for the larger candles tomorrow until probably like let the balance set up tomorrow.
Okay.
Let the hour pass in the market tomorrow. Otherwise, you might regret it.
Oh, okay. I'm definitely gonna be patient then.
Yeah.
Isn't 5:30? I mean, or 9:30, whatever, 8:30 gonna click off? It's gonna make a big move already the first hour before the market even opens, isn't it?
It is, but they could also use it as a trap where they could pop it. Everybody buys calls, and then whoop.
Oh man.
So I don't know. It's up to you guys. I won't be too excited to play till I see first the behavior, second the volume. The volume has been. I mean, here I'm on 4 hours.
Crap.
Look at the volume.
Crap volume.
And then check the daily out. I don't know if anyone did analysis, but this is probably the lowest daily volume in some time, guys. Here. This had to be a holiday. Is this Thanksgiving? This had to be a holiday.
Probably.
The
Did you
25th.
eat turkey
That's-
then?
Yeah, like we did.
Okay, it was Thanksgiving then.
Fuck you.
We love you, Dubster.
So you guys look, I mean, this is the lowest 3 days we've had in a while. And how come after you ran it up, you're not more? Like you're not interested to buy more right before you know the news? I don't think people are aware of what's going to happen tomorrow. Okay.
Do you think? I mean, do you think there's more opportunity in the Nasdaq because it seems much higher in the chart?
I think so, yeah. I had Nasdaq is ready to plummet. So I'm glad you brought it up. Yeah, Nasdaq is pretty. It looks, I would say, pretty weak. And lately, I've been playing Nasdaq more, honestly. Let me go 68. And the POC shifted down. Is this what you guys got?
I haven't made it that
Yeah.
far yet.
Today actually traded within the zone of the prior day's zone. Actually within it.
We're compressing a little bit. Okay, let me make this one bottom side.
I just couldn't figure out the upside on this one.
I mean, 13,360. I personally don't like to buy here. The only way I would play this bean is
I've been shorting the tops. I've been shorting
you
Sigma
go
3
here.
twice.
When you come back here, I'll be a buyer.
Hmm.
I need you to go explore. I want somebody. So the idea when we say retest, right? And think of it this way, guys. A lot of you ask me, is it a retest? Ask yourself if you're buying the product. Let's say you want the PlayStation and you see that there's buyers at 750, they can't keep them off the shelves. 850, they can't keep them off the, everything's getting sold. 950 comes and a lot of PlayStations out there. So if your value buy is at 450 for the PlayStation, what is your retest of value? Is your retest
450?
450 or 500, right? That's what I'm saying. And then you look at the stocks, right? I mean, if this is to break to 13.5, I would say, yeah, if you pull it back to 13.365, I'd be a buyer. If you pull it to 13.48 and bring it up here, I don't consider that a retest. I'm on a bigger picture, right? This move needs to be violent. There needs to be initiative buyers that do this move here, or sellers that come here. Right now, all we are seeing is responsible sellers here, responsible buyers here. And then, you know, the locals making money in between. So I'm not really interested in long anywhere. And today I shorted Apple. I took ZS contracts off. I only kept 2. I don't know if anyone saw ZS, but it was well over 100% on that. It was a good play for me, at least. I trimmed some shares as well. ZS showed a little bit of exhaustion, just to give you guys an idea here. It was exhausting a little bit, so I was waiting to see. If they bring that to 104, not bad, but this is gonna need to be revisited. So, but yeah, I personally think they have to bring this. So you see the ES is leading down. It's weaker than NQ. NQ has more meat on the bone. You lose the sigma here. I mean, you have 220 points, guys. Here. And here, let me just show you something if you haven't done it yet.
That's 4,400 on a contract.
You got the look at the 190 level. The 190 level is just about
Yeah,
it's
so
almost a
watch
double
this.
top.
I'm about to show you that.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah. So this is your level that he's talking about. Once you, let's say you're like, okay, I don't want to short this right here. Right? You don't have to, but here, look at this. God, I hate that I didn't change. Once you lose this, you have the value area low right here. 13,169 to 1364 is pretty good. All right. If you want to short, once you lose this level here, and you guys see, what did I tell you in the class Sunday, right? What did I say we called this right here? You guys recall this? This is them protecting the gap. They know if they lose this, they're going here, right? You know, high probability. But now just pay attention to, is this shelf really important to us?
The highest nodes other than the main one, yeah.
Okay, let me give you a different perspective. I'm gonna grab this from the low to this high. I'm not gonna extend. Isn't this the buying one? Isn't this the
Yeah.
buying from here to here? How important is that node?
It's not going down, not so much.
Okay, I'll grab from here to here.
Hmm.
Do you get my point? Does everybody get the point, what I'm trying to show you? Somebody's asleep. Holy crap, somebody was asleep.
It's Cuban.
Oh
my god.
Narcoleptic.
Yeah, he's yeah. But does everybody understand my point here? Sunflower doesn't make
So
sense.
that's like a sell-off POC.
That is a sell-off POC, correct?
So
there
break
is
of
like
that
a
is
play
what we would want to sell
You
off.
would want that, but what also tells you is the buyers are not here. This was sellers accumulation. They reclaimed it. It will, as they come here, who's going to defend?
Yeah.
So let me show you here from this side. I'll grab here so it just doesn't grab to here.
That's what they're
Buyers.
selling off.
This is a sell-off POC. So that's when I remember in the PowerPoint, it says in the uptrend, you're looking for shelves for a bounce. Well, let me ask you, where is a bounce here for for this. Once you lose this, where's the bounce?
79.
All the way at the bottom.
It's all the way at the bottom, which would probably, you know, if they come here, I guarantee you they're not gonna bounce here. They'll bounce here. So when you look at the profiles, when you look at the data moving, right? Are we making higher highs or lower highs? And, you know, where are you looking for a bounce? For instance, you know, if you look at this right here, they didn't really give you much, I guess, here. But look at this. They gave you a lot there. You're trending down, right? This is from the range, top to the bottom. They're trending down. And where do you take a short? Now you're pushing back. So you had a short, you had multiple, right? So you had a short here. If you took it, I'm pretty sure you'd be okay here. You know, what is this? Let's say you took it 76, 71, 5 points. That's not what I would play for, but I'll probably be stopped out on this. But if you took this guy here, and you then look at, let's say, how you got there. I just want to make sure you guys are getting the idea of what I'm trying. If this is where you're sell off, now I'm using this uptrend from here to know where I will get out on this short. Does that make sense? And it's right here. This is get out. So you still have no reason to get out here unless you took it off if you're a dumpster and scared. Does that make sense? Is anyone confused? If you are, I got more.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It actually helps a lot.
Okay, free, does that make sense? Don't make me call you guys out. I'll ask you to share your screen. Come on.
For the second, did you
I'm not looking at NQ at all, so
That's okay. Does the concept make sense? I don't care if you don't look at
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay. All right, good.
Shorty, for the second one, did you go from the top to the bottom to find the POC?
Yeah, so the key is when you're looking at this, so you're looking for shelves, not always are you looking for POCs, right? So when you grab, my rule when I grab, if I want to see an uptrend, is that I want to find, if I grab this bottom to here, I'm going to skew the POC. If I go from here to here, the POC, I guess, is still there, but I could have skewed it because I grabbed this data here. I grabbed the low to the high of the swing high and low. So this is the uptrend here. This is accumulation here pretty much. Let me do that.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, the POC will shift. There you go. So I grabbed this one and POC shifted. So you always grab the first, the first lower low or the last lower low that you have, which is in this case here. Let's say if I wanted this one, I would grab from here. And in this case, you could grab this right here as well, because there's volume and here's that. And look, that's almost.
Wow, it's like perfect.
Wow.
So what this tells you, right? They had an uptrend and there was a big candle. Volume was, look at the candle here on volume.
But that was Friday, right? You're looking at
That's Monday. That's Monday 8th at 2 o'clock. Remember we had that dump when it pulled to 36, 38. But there was a lot of volume sent here. So then you think about it. They bounced from it, but they still didn't like the price, right? Well, read the logic, right? And then they came to this point where it's the highest POC and it becomes an SR flip because look at the candle body of this. It becomes an SR flip. They broke through it, went lower, and then they came back to it, and that's where we sold off from. So now if you look at this, this is a little bit more congested. If I want to grab this whole thing from the top to the bottom, I guess the lowest bottom here, let's see where we are now. So what shape is this? You have a 2-day profile that looks like what?
Lowercase b.
Where do you short this one?
The high volume node at the top.
It's gonna be here. If they bring it up to the 2 sig level, and I mean, just think about it. If you draw from here to here, it'll give you a POC. So 13,355, 5 points from 2 sig. That's my target. If they push it up to here, like Bean, what you talked about earlier, if you recall,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make sense not to. I mean, as long as it's not 8 o'clock, 8:30, whenever they release. But you see here, once they dump this level here, I'm sorry, when they lose this level right here, you know, they don't have much but this shelf right here and this POC, which is, what is this? You're looking at 75, 10 points, which is, it's okay, but not my cup of tea. Ultimately, I think they're going to be here. Because this is now what shape?
A B.
Yeah, it's called a double distribution, right? So when you
Yeah.
have a double distribution, it's in the PowerPoint. How do you play this?
Short the top, by the bottom.
Yeah, once we break to, let's say, the sigma level here, you're going to go here. You're going to find the POC, the mean of this volume here. We're going to find that bad boy. Once we find the volume, it's right there. Okay, somewhere I would probably get out somewhere around here. And then you can figure that out. That'd probably not be a bad idea to get out in this golden pocket trim some. Like around here. Okay, does that make sense? Hopefully you guys, you know, figured out the point that I was making about the uptrend and the run up and the run down. So here's your SPY for people that love trading SPY.
So your SIG you've got up at a 274 on that?
Which one?
The SIG, first SIG. It's like 13,274, right?
Yeah, 13,250.
Okay.
What is yours?
Oh, I hadn't adjusted it recently. It was actually a couple, probably like 20 points lower.
252.5.
I'm using also this profile here, 1, 2, 3, 4. To me, when you have a, I don't even know. Let's call this a P shape for the purpose of showing a P shape. It's not, I don't know, it's not P shape. They're gonna fix this poor structure here. They have single prints here. They have single prints here. You should not have so many single prints on a P shape. Like you have single, double, triple. And if you think about it, these are your letters on a TPO, right? A, B, C. So this was probably A's here, and then I don't know what time, you know, when we open, but this has to be repaired. And if we break this level here, 13.05, well, you're gonna be headed to 12.8. There's nothing here that's gonna stop it.
Oh, you know what? You're looking at mini contract. That's why it doesn't look different. That's why it looks different.
No, this is NQ.
Oh,
This
that's
is NQ.
strange. Because my, yet like today's low, which is like below the kind of at that same level, says it's 13,250.
13,250.
Yeah.
That's what mine says.
Okay, I don't know what's with mine is. Oh, so okay, so your SIG is 13,250.
Yeah, that's why you said 70. I said 50.
No, I don't. Never mind.
What are you on? Are you using stuff?
I don't know. You had 13,270. I thought I saw 13,274, and I'm like, that seems really high.
Something
And that's
here,
why I got
this level
confused.
is picking up. I don't know what this is. I have no idea what it is. Picking up some label here. Let me see.
Okay, 250.75. Got it.
When the screen's compressed, it doesn't show the is
correctly.
in your spot.
Okay,
That's
cool.
correct. Yeah.
That makes sense. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, you see here, you're followed by irregular D to a B. And now, if they reclaim this overnight, then I would switch to the maybe it might be a little bit bullish, right? Especially if they break this here, then you can play this break here to up here. Does that make sense? And then I'd be careful going long here in any of these areas. And trust me, it has shown you before, be careful going long.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Twitter experts that are better than me are calling breakouts, but there's no breakouts at all. These are called traps on liquidities. They sell calls to retail, and then they make money by doing quick dumps to the bottom. So they sell their longs here, and then they sell the calls. They double the dip, while retail is like, oh no, we're not breaking up. We're going lower. Yeah, we're going lower, right? And the scary part about all of this is a lot of people are seeing inverse head and shoulders here, right? But this is also a double top.
Mm-hmm.
If this neckline breaks, I don't know if you guys know, but the length of the move would be pretty substantial, probably somewhere up to here.
Almost a triple top.
Well, it's been a shit show. So you're looking at 273. So you're looking somewhere a drop to about 1263, and that'd be good because it's a failed auction in 4 hours. And if you guys just zoom out a little bit. So we had this balance where we accumulated. We have this value area high at 12.3, which hasn't been really retested with the same balance candle, right? And this POC, we never tapped at 11.5. So I'm not suggesting it's headed there, but there's a high chance if they lose this level here, they're going to trigger that. There's no value. There's no value here, guys, for the big boys. Considering the macro and stuff, you know, this is not a bull market yet. If UPSD is running like this, it's not a bull market. You'll know when it's a bull market. This definitely not. It's not a definitely. This is not a bull market. Here's your 3 days. To me, this looks more like a bear flag than a bull market.
Triangle.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks. What did BTC? This one's gonna crash first, so you gotta keep an eye on it. Where's my good night Bitcoin? Yeah, it's right here. They're holding for their life. Yeah, once they lose this, probably somewhere around 19. So this is gonna lead, and US is gonna make sure this fails soon. This fails, the dollar gets power, market goes down.
Somebody I had an order from me, he was at work, I think for the military. He told me, kind of hush hush. I think I mentioned it before that they plan on crashing Bitcoin.
They have to, man, guys. I mean, it doesn't. I don't think it takes a genius to figure out, but the more people put money in Bitcoin, right, the more you're weakening the dollar, and I just don't see that happening.
He actually suggested a different one. I looked into it. I think it's actually kind of tied into U.S. actual currency. Like, I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But it's kind of, I kind of, listen to what he had to say. Not just somebody that's BS. And no, it's not Doge.
All my money's in Dogecoin.
It's a good investment.
Thank you, man. My CFA told me so.
Just get Elon to tweet about it.
All right. Well, I suggest you guys don't gamble a lot tomorrow during the hour, and then let it settle, let the balance set, and go from there. Use the volume profile, even if it's 3 minutes, man. I'm telling you, it can really, really help you here to know where the rejections will potentially come. Right? Even if you, here's your Apple. The whole day. And go check when I shorted Apple. Yeah, we have a good chance to. I don't know if anyone's in Apple, but my target is about right here, 165, and then 157. Ultimately 145, but I bought enough time on this. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll see what they do and how they behave, and we'll go from there. Cuban, wake up.
Thanks, Shorty.
Thanks, Rockets.
No problem. Later, guys.
Guys, bye.
All right.
Have a good one.